All right, y'all. I'm going to go over our study guide here. I'm just going to do it page by page. So this video will only go over page 1 of the study guide. That way, it's not too long of a video. So this will cover questions 1 through 8 here. Question 1 just says, it says the function f is defined as the f of x equals negative 2x plus 8. What is the slope of the function? What is the y-intercept of the function? So this is a linear equation. Every linear equation has 2 parts, a slope and a y-intercept. We typically see this as y equals mx plus b, but that doesn't mean the second number is always b. B is the constant, and the slope is the coefficient to x. And so b, the y-intercept here, is 8. The y-intercept is 8. And the slope of the function is negative 2. All right, the coefficient to x. All right, number 2, same deal. Hopefully, you're getting some of these on your own. But notice here it's in a different order. The slope comes second. The slope is the coefficient to x. You can't forget the sign. So the slope is actually negative 1/2. And the y-intercept is 3. Okay, so start with something pretty easy here. Heading on to the next one. It says solve the equation. We just have a basic equation here. We're going to start with distribution. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 7 is 21 equals 9. Now I subtract 21 from both sides. These cancel. I get 6x equals. This is where kids make the most mistakes. You understand the process, but you are not the best at mental math. 9 minus 21 is negative 12. Okay, use a calculator if you absolutely have to on that. Divide by 6. These cancel. X equals negative 12 divided by 6 is negative 2. All right, next one, solve the inequality. So this time we have an inequality, so I need to solve for x. Both sides are already simplified, so what I really need to do here is get it so there's only variables on one side. I'm going to subtract away this 5x right here. These will cancel, and then I get negative 2x minus 5 is less than, these canceled, so the only thing left over here is 5. Now it's a two-step inequality. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. These cancel. I get negative 2x is less than 5 plus 5 is 10. The last step is divide by negative 2. But I just divided by a negative with an inequality, so I have to flip the sign, and I get x is greater than negative 5. All right. So moving on to some of the more rigorous questions now. Actually, these are some really great questions here. So make sure you zone in and pay close attention. 5 says, which of the following are solutions to the inequality? So before we can figure out what the solutions are, we have to solve the inequality, right? And so let's solve this. We're going to start with distribution. Let me zoom in a little here. There we go. Negative 3 times 2m is negative 6m. Negative 3 times positive 2 is negative 6. Then I have a plus 6 and a greater than or equal to 18. I'm going to combine like terms over here. I have a negative 6 and a positive 6. These are both constants. A negative 6 and a positive 6, they cancel out, right? Negative 6 equals 6, that's 0. So these really just cancel. And I get negative 6m is less than or equal to 18. I divide each side by negative 6 to get rid of the coefficient. These cancel. I just divided by a negative. I must flip the sign. I get m is greater than or equal to negative 3. So which one of these answer choices, or which ones of these answer choices, are greater than or equal to negative 3? Well, negative 3 is greater than or equal to negative 3, right? Because it's equal to. Negative 2 is also greater than. Negative 1 is also greater than. 0 is bigger than negative 3. And 1. So this is all of them here, okay? Just want to make sure no mistakes. All right, good to go. All right, so we have another one that's very similar here. This time we have inequalities on both sides, or sorry, we have variables on both sides. I'm going to start by adding 2x to both sides. These cancel. Negative 4 plus 2x is negative 2x. Drop down the plus 8. And I'm left with 2. Now it's a two-step inequality. I subtract 8 from both sides. These cancel. I get negative 2x is less than 2 minus 8 is negative 6. Divide each side by negative 2. Hopefully you're remembering that when I divide by a negative, I flip the sign. Negative 6 divided by negative 2 is positive 3. So x is greater than positive 3. So let's go to our solutions now. Is 1 greater than positive 3? No. Is 2 greater than positive 3? No. Is 3 greater than positive 3? No, they're equal, and there's no equal sign in this one, so this is not correct. 4 is greater than positive 3, and 5 is greater than positive 3. So this is correct here. Okay. Number 7. What is the equation for a line that passes through the points 1, 3 and 4, 9? This is pretty difficult, so let's just really dive in here. So we know that a line means that it's a linear function, so it's y equals mx plus b. So I need to find the slope of this line, and I need to find the y-intercept of this line. To find the slope, it's the change in y over the change in x. So how much does y change? So let's look from 3 to 9, right? From this point to this point. How much does the y change? Well, it changes by positive 6. Right? The y's are the second point. What about x? The x is the first point, so I go from 1 to 4, so I change 3. So the slope is 6 over 3. 6 over 3 is 2. So the slope is 2. Now that I know the slope and I have a point, I can find the y-intercept. Remember, our equation is y equals mx plus b. I know m is 2. And now I can pick either one of these points. I'll choose this first one. Y is the second coordinate, so I plug in a 3 to y. I plug in a 1 to x, and now we're going to solve for b. 2 times 1 is 2. We get 2 plus b equals 3. 2 plus what number? Remember, variables are just on numbers, gives me 3. Hopefully you can reason that as 1, but I subtract 1 from both sides. Subtract 2 from both sides. These cancel. 3 minus 2 is 1, and so b is equal to 1. Now that I know the slope and I know the y-intercept, I just plug them into my y equals mx plus b equation. Y equals 2x plus 1. This is the equation for a line. Guarantee if you graph this line, it will go through this point and this point. You know what? Why don't I just do it? All right? Why don't I just go on Desmos and do it real quick? Our equation is y equals 2x plus 1. Whoops. So here's a line. I said it would go through what 2 points? I said it would go through 1, 3 and 4, 9. So I go to 1, 3. Sorry, it's hard to see with my finger here. All right, this doesn't really work because I can't see with my finger. Oh, here we go. I can use the pen. All right. 1, there it is. 1, 3, right? It goes through the point 1, 3. What was the other one? 4, 9. There it is. 4, 9. All right, it goes through both. All right, So that's number 7. Number 8 says, what is the equation for a line that passes through point 1 comma 7 has a slope of negative 2? Well, this time it gave us the slope. So I'm just going to plug that all of this information into y equals mx plus b, right? Here's y, here's x, here's negative 2. So I just need to find the y-intercept. To do that, I plug in the 7 to y. I plug in a negative 2 to m, a 1 to x, and I can solve for b. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 plus b equals 7 to get rid of a minus 2. I add 2 to both sides. These cancel. We get b is equal to 7 plus 2 is 9. So b is 9. Now that I know the slope is negative 2 and the y-intercept is 9, all I'm doing is plugging that into y equals mx plus b, right? Y equals negative 2x plus 9. That is the equation for a line that has a slope of negative 2 and passes through the point 1 comma 7. Okay, so that's the first page of the study guide. I'm going to end this video here and make a new one for the next.